Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and today I'm joined by Phoebe. Do you go by Phoebe?
I go by Phoebe.
I should ask that before we go
Sometimes I
live.
go by Deo, Dayon, Deontological, or Phoebe.
And as always, folks, there are links in the description that you can go check and follow Phoebe across the interwebs. But I know you from TikTok. If you'd be so kind of just
Yes.
like introduce yourself and tell people a little bit
Uh,
about you.
right. So I'm Deontological on TikTok. The reason why the name is that is because I'm a pretentious person. So freshman year of high school, we talked talked philosophy in my journalism class because I was taking journalism classes freshman year of high school. And so that's where the name came from, just a pretentious pun. But I don't really talk about philosophy unless it has to do with D&D usually. It's just a name.
It is just the name. Hey, that's good. At least you knew what you wanted to do as a freshman in high school. I,
Oh yeah, I didn't know I wanted to be a journalist. Um, and then I wanted to be a journalist, and now I'm thinking just some media thing. Does it have to be journalism? No.
Maybe you can land a sweet job at the Kernenberg Chronicle. I think that's what it's called.
I mean, sounds good. Anything's good.
Yeah, I mean you have to figure out how to get to Eberron first, but what are you gonna do?
Of course, of course, of course.
So, how did you get into becoming D&D TikTok famous?
Famous. Micro famous. So I just started posting. I think it was the first video that like hit 1,000 was actually really early on. I was really confused about it. But I just sort of talked about how one of my characters uh basically told a god to their face to screw themselves. And it was like dark. I had just flown home. Not home. I had just flown to my college from my home. It was like late at night. I had just gone back to campus and I was just literally using the street lights to just like barely light me. Terrible quality, but it got some attention. And I was like, huh, maybe I could do this, but more and funnier. And so I just kept making them. And eventually, I think they got funnier. I think so.
Well, I mean, I enjoy watching your content. You show up on my For You page all the time. So,
That's good to hear. You don't show up on my For You page a
because we don't
lot.
do anything. That's
Yeah,
why.
maybe you should. Maybe you
Right?
should.
So I came on TikTok like I don't know when I made the account, a year ago, 2 years ago, and I thought we might do something with it. And so I started like we used to do like little stupid skits in the beginning of our videos. So I just started cutting
Right.
some of those off and throwing them up there, and there's like I don't know 6, 7 of them over there. And I just got there and I just realized I'm old and I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm mostly just like I just lurk and sometimes interact with the community in the comments or whatever. Um, but
Yeah,
I
I've noticed
really
that.
what's that?
I've noticed that. Mootly loves you.
Moodley's great. Like
I
I
love
think the
Mootly.
community over there is really great, and I find it to be one of the more um
Less
I
toxic.
find TikTok to be one of the more innovative things to happen to RPGs and D&D in a long time.
I also find us to be less toxic than other areas. Like I posted some of my videos on Reddit or YouTube.
Yeah.
Everyone's so mean.
Oh God. So I am not a fan of Reddit. Reddit
Oh yeah.
is
Ooh, just dropped a die. Continue.
Reddit to me is like the douchiest place on the internet is how I affectionately refer to it. Um
Okay, okay, but there are pockets that are nice, and D&D memes has like a mix of both. They'll be like some of the coolest people, like really nice people, and then but there are just more of the assholes. There are just more of them.
yeah, yeah. No, that's true. On D I think it was D&D memes. We just had somebody come after us over there a little while
Oh my
ago.
god, what happened?
I mean we share all kinds of memes on our Facebook page. And they're
Got it.
like, "You stole my IP," and it was like a Pawn Star still that they turned into a meme with a meme generator. I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? That's IP to you? You're right. It is IP, just not yours. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I said, maybe
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
old and I just don't get certain things about the
It's
internet.
it's good to make your own memes instead of posting other people's memes, but there is this sort of like internet culture around memes where it doesn't matter who made them, even though I don't know. I don't really like that a lot, but
Yeah. So I don't know. We just find funny things and just share it. That's all.
yeah, I get you. I get you.
So
Okay, and it turns out I miscounted. I do have all my dice, so I'm very happy. These are all of them. I know it's not a big hoard. If you guys want to send me more dice, let me know. I've got a Discord. If you go to my TikTok and then you
yeah.
go to my bio, the link tree in my bio, there's a Discord there. So if you want to message me about sending me more dice, because I obviously need more dice. I
Yeah.
only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 6 sets of dice. I need
How do
more.
you even play the game with so few sets of dice? I don't know.
I don't know. I DM with this few sets of dice.
You're like borrowing dice from your players so your monsters can kill them better. Uh,
I'll use online stuff if I have to roll damage or something, but
that
I
works
do
too.
I do prefer physical dice.
And also, your link tree is in the description, so people don't have to go as far to
Oh,
find
you
it.
put my lips. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it makes it easier for
Okay.
me than grabbing like 15 different links and putting it there. So for sure, why
Yeah.
not? So what kind of content do you like to make over on TikTok?
My favorite content to make is just me being dumb, me doing like silly little memes. I really like, okay, so I do have like it's not the majority of my content. I do have videos where I just go like really absurd and I'm like, this is why it is vegan to eat a gelatinous cube. Uh, I think I did that video, or vegetarian. Basically my argument was it's not an animal, like closer to a fungus. So that was the argument. I like making videos like that. I don't do it very often. Sometimes I'll do a lot of like silly memes. I've been going a little more absurdist lately, following some trends, but in a more absurd way, like the berries and cream video where I was just like eating dice, and then, and I washed them. That's what this is. This is my dice washing tray. I bought it at Kroger. It's a berry washing tray that I bought
That
specifically
also
to
works for
wash my
dice
dice. Yeah.
because inevitably they're gonna end up in your mouth. Okay.
Well, I mean, if I'm making a video like that, so yeah. So
Yeah.
after that, people were like, "Phoebe, what was Deo TV? What is this?" And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video on how to wash dice to eat it. And then I saw someone else had already made a video on how to wash dice, not to eat it, but just how to wash dice.
Yeah.
It was equally absurd. So I was like, no, I got to take it up a notch. I can't just steal this guy's idea. That's ridiculous, even though it was my idea first. But like, I can't just steal this guy's idea. Um, so I made a cooking video on how to cook dice, and I think that one was very funny. It didn't get as many views as I hoped, but
That is the life of a content creator.
yeah.
Uh,
Anything. The problem is that it was above a minute, so
uh
people can't duet to react. Which I feel like someone would have. I feel like someone would have sent this and been like, "Hey, can you blind react to this? It's freaking hilarious." I don't know what year. It's hilarious. And then, but I don't know if you guys you're on YouTube, so like I don't know if you or like your audience knows this about TikTok, but you can't duet or stitch videos that are over a minute long.
okay.
So it hurts your content. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that. I honestly, when the creators I like finally get that 3 minutes, I'm like, ugh, it makes me sad. I'm like, I like you for a minute, not 3 minutes. If I want to watch something for
Okay,
3 minutes, I'll go over to YouTube.
it was 2 minutes though. It was me
Yeah.
cooking dice. So like
Yeah.
I feel like that's worth it. I feel like it's no, but I get what you mean. I hate 3 minutes usually, But sometimes I'll be watching a video and I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. And then I'm like, wait,
Yeah,
this was 3 minutes?
that has been known to happen as well. It's but also that being said, right? Like I
Yeah.
probably like some of my favorite creators for RPGs and stuff over on YouTube. I probably won't watch because I'm like, I don't want to watch a video this long. But then I'll spend an hour on TikTok watching 161-minute videos.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine are like, I
I
just
mean,
limit myself to 1 hour of TikTok a day because otherwise I get trapped in a TikTok loop that never ends.
you can do that? You can limit the amount of time you're.
I bet there's an app on your phone. I can bet you can put an app on your phone. It'll just shut it off
No,
after a certain amount
I
of time.
can't do that. I can't do that. It's my comfort addiction. You can't take it away from me.
Yeah, but it's being shorter is like worse because it just sucks you in and like before you
Yeah.
know it, like an hour before a hour has gone by, it's just like, oh, what have I been doing with all my time?
The thing is, I like need to have a general understanding of like the trends and stuff because I like making jokes about like the stuff.
Yeah.
But so when so I kind of consider it sort of homework, like but for my hobby.
Yeah.
Um, but then I'll get like stuck down a rabbit hole of like some something that has nothing to do with my content and something that isn't a trend, and it's like, okay.
Where did I find myself on? So how often are you gaming?
Um, I do it 3 times a week. I have been sorry, my dad just messaged me. Uh, okay, got it. Yeah. So yeah, I do it 3 times a week. I DM Curse of Strahd for my players on uh oh, that's the monster manual. On Sundays. Yeah, that's the day. Days are hard. Um,
They can be.
I yeah. Curse of Strahd, beautiful. I love it. Um, I I'm really loving this module thing because like I'm good at improv, but just having a world already built for me is so good. I just need to combine my improv skills with my already established world that is in there.
What is your process for running pre-written adventure?
My process is to generally vibe with the content. Just be like, I get the vibes. I understand what Strahd wants. I understand sort of the general idea of this. And then also this is I'm on session 2 and this is the first time that I've done this. So it's not really like my whole entire process. But
Yeah, yeah.
then I look at like where they're going, which they just finished Death House. So I took the monsters from Death House, matched up the monsters to the monsters in the monster manual, and then I could turn to the monster manual. It was very good.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
So Rivers RPG wants to know how long have you been playing and did you start with 5e?
I have started with 5e. I've been playing like since last not January 2021, January 2020. So
So you basically like
yeah.
practically started with the pandemic.
Yeah. It was wild. Like, wait, did I start with the pandemic or was it before that?
It was
No, because the pandemic started my fresh. Did it? What? Yeah. No, that was my freshman year of college. Was the pandemic? Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Half of it.
Yeah. So for the first, because like my
Wow.
son was like in person for first
Yeah.
half, and then they went virtual.
So yeah, we started in person. Obviously, we moved to sort of online, but yeah, I we actually we did a lot of D&D before the pandemic. It was like a good solid like 3 months because it was mid March when
Yeah.
so it was a good solid like 2 months and a half of just like D&D
And then you
and
had the
getting
rug
used
pulled
to
from
it and
underneath
stuff.
you.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I
Not
mean
really.
that just gave more time for D&D.
It did. I well, I know a lot of people that started playing with quarantine and the pandemic.
Yeah.
That and some people that were like they weren't really too keen on giving it a try before either. And like the next thing you know, they're now playing it and starting businesses around it. It's so bizarre.
Right? Right? Um yeah, so I I had been playing with that group for a while and then like our school came back into session the next semester. So like we were in like this like echoey, terrible Wi-Fi room.
Yeah.
Tried to wear masks, had food though. So it was like and we also ate together. We ate dinner together a lot. So it was like,
Pretty
what
standard.
are we if one of us had it, we would probably all eventually have it. Just because like there weren't really a lot of precautions at our college, like we couldn't really do anything. But we never got sick. That eventually dissolved. Uh, and then I started DMing for my roommates the next semester. So like spring, last spring is when I started DMing for my roommates. And I did this like wild campaign sort of based on like my impressions of Barovia, but if I made them less evil, more chaotic, more Feywild. Um, and then I was like, I don't like this. This is hard. I don't like making a world that involves planning outside of the game. Terrible. So that's why I started doing Curse of Strahd this semester when we came back. Um, and I've been liking it a lot better.
So we're back in person now. I guess we've been back in person a couple months now. Like once we've had
Yeah.
matched up everyone's vaccine schedules, like we're able to go back
Mhm.
finally, which is felt so good for the first time getting back together. And we had had to go virtual as well for it. But I guess we've been playing online since like 2014 when we started
Wow.
Nordarchy because we started like meeting people from different places. There used to
Yeah.
be a Facebook group called the One Shot Group. And I think that's how
Ooh.
we got started. I don't know if it's still there or what capacity it still exists in. But there used to be, and that was like just we would just like meet up with like Google Hangouts and run
Yeah.
things theater of the mind.
Mhm.
You prefer
I
theater of the mind
oh,
or minis?
I prefer both. Like I when there is a small little tiny fight, I prefer like small area, not a lot of stuff to like touch or whatever, not in a dungeon. I like Theater of the Mind a lot because it's quicker. I don't have to draw a map. Or if I'm not the DM, like the DM doesn't have to take time to set things up. But if it's like a bigger fight, I really like either a digital map or a physical one because there are a lot of things that you can do with your environment or there are a lot of like location specific effects that a lot of characters specifically in D&D have that I think work really like it's often important to have sort of a more structured visualization. So I like both, just different reasons.
Yeah, I mean we've always kind of done like mostly theater of the mind, and for like kind of like what you said, the more complex the encounter, the more
Mhm.
like you kind of need to visually see it. Uh,
But even then, like I'll just put like one die down. Let for Death House, I just put like a couple die down, and I was like, "This is where you are. You're approximately able to run over here," like that kind of thing. It was like a little bit of a mix of both because a lot of my roommates and we have a couple like classmates that also play with us are a lot more casual. So they don't really want to be like, well, the 30 feet can,
Yeah.
my ability works in the 30 feet area, and like I can specifically run away this much, and then I'm out of there. And it's like that's not really their style. So it's, I think, a good balance of the two, to
Yeah,
just
I mean
have the visualization,
there's some games that
but
just
then
use those as
also,
ranges, close, short, long as I think
yeah,
Cypher System does that. And it does make it a lot easier. My son is also a filthy casual. He plays like he plays like online with his friends. I think he's
oh, that's
playing
fun.
like regularly now, but he gotten in and out of our games for a little bit. But he's more of like a video game player.
I'm not. So yeah. Uh
I don't have enough time in my life for all those hobbies.
yeah, I get you. So yeah, I do have two streams though. I'm a player in both of them, but I'm also a DM in one of them. So on Tuesdays we have this really like wild stream game, very classic fantasy, just like it's wild. It's wild. Um, and I play a B word. I don't know if I can cuss. I never asked, so I'm just gonna say I play a B word, and I love her.
We're like PG-13. You get one
Okay,
F bomb.
okay,
Use it carefully.
okay. I think I might have almost used it, but I stopped myself. But yeah, yeah. So then the uh other game I'm really excited about. It's like this sort of, so the gimmick is that we switch DMs every week, and we're two sessions in. It's and we've had the same DM for these two sessions just because we're like setting up the world. But there's this house, and the idea is that we're stuck in the house, which is like sort of on the edge of like a multiverse. And every single episode, we're going to new places and doing like different stuff. So you don't even have to watch every episode to understand what's going on. It's definitely more like an anthology, or like one of those like TV shows, like like Doctor Who, or like uh, you know what I mean, like
Yeah,
where
like
it's like
Supernatural or any
there's,
of those, like Serial. Yeah.
yeah, this sort of like an overarching, there's a meta, there's a bit of a, I'm thinking of, don't tell my players, but I'm thinking of adding a, because I'm running it next week, I'm the next DM, but I'm thinking of adding a little bit of an overarching plot, just a little taste of an overarching plot.
Sneak it in there. The house makes me think of
Come in.
Constantine and Just Sleep Dark.
Ooh,
I think that's like a thing. But I'm
I
not like super versed in comics. But every once in a while I'll pick up like a graphic novel or so. Something.
I'm not at all.
Well, I mean, I was so happy for superhero movies because it's much easier than buying comics every week.
Exactly.
Get my
Except
fix.
for the DC movies are so bad.
Yeah, they do tend to be bad.
Most of them.
The last
Most
Suicide
of
Squad
them.
was really good.
I saw half of it, but it was good too. It's not like I paused in the middle because I needed to sleep, and then I just never got back to it.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was like that was one of the best ones. But like they
Yeah,
brought in a director that was one of the Marvel guys, so that makes sense.
right? I loved the color palette. I feel like the thing that I think that the DC extended universe is missing is camp. I feel like they need more camp. And I feel like
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, the second one, was camp. Just 100%.
I honestly, I break it down even simpler because Marvel had this problem too when Marvel wasn't doing it, but other people were. Just stick to
Yes.
the freaking stories that already were successful.
That too. That
like,
too.
like the Spider
But
Mans were so ridiculous. They tried to like cram in like 3 Spider-Man storylines into one movie, and that
right,
didn't work. Who would have thought?
who would have thunk? But if you think about it, it's a comic book movie.
Yeah,
Make comic-y things happen. Make, like that's what's so fun about Harley Quinn, is that she's so theatrical and dramatic and wild and
and over the
fun,
top.
and over the top. And I feel like you need a more of that in comic book movies, because I feel like that's something that has been missing for a while. Even in Marvel, like Thor Ragnarok, I think is one of my favorite of the Marvel movies. I really liked Shang-Chi. I don't know how
Shang-Chi,
to
yeah.
say the first part. Uh, but and it had a little bit of camp, but Thor Ragnarok was just like camp on top of camp on top. It was beautiful. The color palettes, the over the topness. I loved it so much.
It was
So
really good.
good. It was so good.
Yeah, Shang-Chi was the first movie I saw in the movie theater post the
Oh,
before
right.
times.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Before times? Oh, since the before times.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's the first time I'd been into the movies. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I I like obviously I was like messed up. I was worried about that. I haven't gotten sick, thankfully. I am vaccinated and I was masked, but I am worried about like movie theaters, but at the same time I really wanted to support that movie because like
yeah.
I could tell it was gonna be good and it was really good. But
Yeah.
also I feel like there needs to be a lot more representation. Like there was one woman at the first six, one woman, everyone was white. Like there was no diversity at all. So I'm
They're
really
slowly but
excited for
surely
the
getting better.
yeah, I'm really excited for the future of it. I'm really excited.
And anything to make the comic book incels angry. So
Yes, the thing is, the comic books are gay. Like they shouldn't be angry that it's not comic accurate if it is.
yeah, I mean, come on, Batman and Robin, please.
No, no, he's a father figure. No, don't.
I,
That's gross.
no, I didn't mean like that. Just like the like how
Okay,
like
okay,
no, but
okay. I was
like how flamboyant like Robin's costumes
right,
were and like what he
right. Just
wore in the early ones.
let
So
them be campy.
yeah, I don't know. People are just weird.
Also, for anyone wondering, I am bi. I can say gay like that. It's okay. Like it's not me being like gay as
Yeah.
like a oh I wish they were more gay flamboyant. No, I mean like literally gay. I want like Harley Quinn, Ivy, 10 out of 10. We need more of that.
I think the so like one of the first like comics that I used to follow was Alpha Flight, and I think they had the first openly gay superhero
Nice,
in that one, North Star.
nice.
Like they
I
addressed that.
don't
They
know who that
addressed
is.
that. They addressed like the AIDS pandemic back then as well, like all kinds of stuff.
Have you heard? I'm not. Uh, so I was watching like a clip from actually on TikTok uh with and Brennan Lee Mulligan. I don't know if you know this about him, but he knows everything and he didn't get this right. Um but Pink Kryptonite made Superman gay, and when they were like talking about like when that pup came out,
Uh,
it apparently came out in the early 2000s. Like this idea that like pink kryptonite made Superman like flamboyant and gay. Oh my god.
it's so weird.
Yeah, I could be wrong on this because I'm like quoting like a secondary source
Yeah,
that I
I'll have
don't
to
know a lot
now. I have
about.
to look into Pink Kryptonite, but they do
Yeah,
seem to
I've been
have like in
curious.
every flavor of Kryptonite anyway that does something weird to
Right.
Superman.
Yeah. I don't I honestly don't know a lot about this. I'm like you're saying like every flavor of kryptonite and I'm like that sounds right. I don't know
Yeah,
them, but that sounds right.
I well, I know there's a bunch. I don't actually know what they do. So what? So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
characters are you playing in your streams?
This is Juniper. She's a B word. I love her.
Yeah.
Um
What makes her a B word?
well, she uh may or may not be not a good person and also insults people a lot. Um Yeah. She is a she's an Arcana domain cleric. Spoiler, if you haven't seen the last episode, you probably haven't. Uh, so everyone cover your ears because you can't know this. But I had held back for 16 weeks that she doesn't even know the name of her god. It's this god of like knowledge. She doesn't know the name of the god. It's great. I love it. And so, like, in the beginning of the episode, they were like making fun of my cleric for being basically a warlock because she's kind of like a very suspicious, very bitchy, like, oh, I said it, very bitchy person. Um, and they were like, yeah, no, she can't be a cleric. No way. And then that same episode, like she's like, hey, I just found other people that apparently worship my god. This is not good. And no one understood. No one understood why that might not be good. Like everyone was like, what, why are we talking about this? Like a few of them literally physically left the conversation to go to the smith to get some stuff smith. And she's just like, this is a problem. Why are you leaving? So like
Is she like a
then she
Highlander? There
talks
can only be one? Like,
no, she just doesn't, she knows enough about the little behind the scenes of her thought process, but she knows enough about like how her like religion works to be like anybody that is doing this
yeah.
is not safe. I know that I'm safe because I know what I did to get into this faith, and I know what I will do to continue in this faith. And right now, well, at the time, it wasn't that. It was bad. This is all like
Was it
stuff
like the
that
mob? Is it like the arcane mob?
no. It's just like it's like it's kind of like a cult, but like on your own. Like you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like so she it's basically like a I can't explain it because there's stuff that my players, I mean not my players, my fellow players don't know, so it's hard to explain. I'll just cap it at she knows what she did to get to that point, and she knows that what they had to do is probably bad, meaning
They're bad
whatever
people.
they have to be bad people. And
Yeah.
she's not a good person, but she is adaptable depending on who she's with and depending on the situation. She doesn't know like what goals the other people have and what they will do to achieve those goals. Well, she does know what they'll do to achieve those goals, and that's anything.
So she's
So
kind of
that's why she's
she's afraid
scared.
of them, kind of.
Yeah, that's why she was scared. So uh she like she showed like somebody that we just recently met, like, hey, do you know this symbol? Because he's an old guy, he was an old warforged guy, and he was like, oh no.
Mhm.
And she's like, what do you mean, what did this so yeah, you guys gotta watch the episode. I'm not gonna reveal more, but it was, so after that, that's when it was revealed, because like that she doesn't know who her god is in that interaction with the Warforged. And
Brian wants to
everyone was
know.
like, 16 weeks. It's been 16 weeks. How did you not tell us? And I'm just like, you never asked. Anyway, what were you saying?
So Brian wants to know, how do you balance playing a character that is a jerk and not actually being a jerk to the group?
Well, the thing is, they know she's a jerk, and after every session, if I do something that's jerky or bitchy, I'll be like, hey, did I go too far this episode? And they're like, no, I loved it. And I'm just like, okay, sounds good.
Oh
It's
no.
just having that mutual understanding with the people, having a constant level of communication. And Also, sometimes you got to take a step back. Sometimes you can't go as far as you think your character would necessarily want to. Though I'm bad at impulse control, so sometimes that's a little hard. But our
I
group
find it
just
hard to
knows that
believe.
I'm. Our group knows that I'm not personally attacking them, and they like my character, and I love their characters. Like we have this character that's like this little child that's very impulsive and stuff, and will do like really stupid things, and like it's sometimes almost infuriating out of character. It's gotten less infuriating out of character because the timing has become immaculate. But like sometimes it's even a little infuriating out of character, but at the same time I love it. Like it's so good. So like
Yeah.
I'll communicate, hey, that was wild, I love you for it. You ruined this for us and I love you for it. You just
I'm
gotta
absolutely
communicate.
playing one of those characters now, and we were like talking, in the Discord afterwards, and I was like, whatever you do, do not actually listen to what my character says or does, because
Yeah.
like so like they're part of this organization, and like the premise behind the character is he's been paired up with a lot of other groups, and he's always a sole survivor because he just makes
Oh
bad
no.
decisions and convinces them to
Oh
do
my
it as
god.
well.
Oh my god. That's amazing. I love that so much.
Like, yeah. So like it's a in this world, like the common people are very suspicious of magic and don't like
Right,
it.
right.
And my cat, I'm playing a spell eater barbarian, which is a subclass that we made,
Cool.
and uh and he's got the mage slayer feat, and all he wants to do is end magic.
Cool. Cool. I love them.
So he leads people that into fighting magic that shouldn't be fighting magic.
Nice.
Our
Um,
last session was like the order was destroyed, so the rest of the group is like, we want to try and like bring people into
yes.
the order, and then
Nice.
like the GM has them roll dice and make checks, and they're like, you get like it's like you get 17 people, and I'm like,
Amazing.
I want to convince those people to go out on expeditions with me to fight back this magical peril, and so out of 17
Woo!
people, we're down to like two.
Oh my god. That is incredible. So my other character is actually very different from her. I This is not a good drawing. It's one rough draft that I did in class one day. But this is Percy. Um, I love him. He's a cowboy. It's hard to see because like it's. Can you see?
I can see.
Awesome. So he's got like Owen Wilson's hair. He's a half elf. His brother, he's like 5'8". His brother's 6'6", and a half orc. They're half brothers. And I love them. And he's just very stupid. So it's and like he's like chaotic good too. He's this very like different version, like completely different than this person. He's just like I go with the flow. I do what I do. It's cool. I try to help people, and I love them.
I like playing dumb characters that like to blow things up. Not
Oh,
uh
you would love Eitri.
not
Eitri is the one
literally,
that I
but
was talking about.
figuratively. So
Oh, never mind.
I mean, well,
Eitri
I've
likes
played
to
those characters too, but I'm here to
literally
push the
blow
buttons.
stuff up. He actually, even though he's stupid, he's pretty good at like
Cowboy
just
stuff.
yeah, he's good at cowboy stuff, but he's good at like empathy and like talking to people and stuff. I really like him.
So you mentioned the half orc brother. We played one of our D&D streams was those bastards, and
Yeah,
everyone played like a half race. So we're all
yeah.
like half siblings, and like the idea behind it was like we're all looking for our dad.
Oh, that's amazing. So actually, they grew up together. Percy's mom is like he grew up with his stepmom, who's a half orc. I mean, who's a full orc. So it was like a very stable, like it was just like a stable family. He just happened to be the older brother to a different mother.
Uh, yeah, ours was not that at all because our dad would just go around
Yeah,
procreating and
yeah.
moving on.
Uh, that's actually something that Sea Cow Explosion is his at his like on TikTok, and then Randy is his name.
Uh,
So me and Randy were discussing it, and we really wanted to avoid that whole like absentee father kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Felt very like gross and tropey, and we made this like sort of more stable family home, and I really like it. It's nice.
There's definitely nothing wrong with it. I had one player in my Scarlet Sisterhood game, which is up, and she played a mother that would like leave her daughter and husband at home, and she would go out and adventure to earn money, and then come back and
Yeah,
bring back the gold.
yeah.
Which actually ended up being fun because then we got to have like all kinds of cool dynamics, and it turned out like
Oh,
her husband's family were like terrible people.
oh,
He wasn't terrible, but
oh, okay, that's good.
no, he wasn't. Yeah, yeah. So like it's funny, like she did everything as a secret, and she was also had like a criminal
Oh,
background, right? So like she like kept all of it secret, and then so I flipped it on her at one point, and then like he had the secret as well that she didn't know about, and that was like
wow,
like the
cool.
family was kind of problematic.
I love a good evil family. That's very fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Were they like evil or were they just like assholes?
No, they were evil. Like
Oh, nice.
they they
Yes.
they were like in bed with Fey patrons because they were warlocks,
Nice.
but they
Nice.
reneged on the deal, so like
Nice.
they couldn't leave the walls of a city because if they did, then they were open to those Fey, and the
Nice.
what her step or not her father-in-law would do would keep remarrying so he could keep having firstborns with a new wife and then sacrifice them in order to keep his immortality going.
That's so weird.
Yes. And then like the
Sorry, I'm just
culmination of the
cracking up.
campaign was like they fixed it for
That's
him
good.
and got rid of the creepy father-in-law in the
Good.
process as well, and
Yeah.
he
He
got
sounds
his
like
just
he sucks.
desserts.
Yeah.
So,
So that's kind of making me want to tell you about some of our other characters because we've got two warlocks, and I might be, well, no, we've got one warlock, one bard that feels like a warlock. I'm gonna like multi-class into warlock eventually because currently my cowboy is a paladin. Um, and like it'll make sense. It's not an evil warlock thing, but we've got this and Derek is the bard that thinks he's a warlock. He's like literally a bunch of people in one body. Uh who because an eldritch deity he was doing a ritual at the same time as like the cheer squad was using the gym or something. So and he was like, I don't like this. Eldritch deity, help me. And the Eldritch deity, I don't know if I'm like sharing stuff I shouldn't be sharing, but the Eldritch deity was like, oh, uh, I I don't really care about you, but I'll fix your problem for you. So to like get them out, he just like put them into Derek. So now they're all the same person.
oh no.
And that's why their name is Anne Derek. They have a longer name, but like
There was a
uh,
there was a Dark Sun book called Tribe of One, a trilogy, I think. And that
yeah,
was like the concept for like the character had all these different personalities.
incredible.
It wasn't from people being put inside them. But Ted like
Yeah.
loved that book so much in college. In the community lounge, he would run a game based off of that where the only die they used was the D20, and anyone who was there could be in the
Cool.
game as one of the personalities, and then they would have to
Oh.
vie for control of the body, and or like if certain
Nice.
circumstances happened that was like that personality was better equipped to like they might
Yeah.
come to the fore.
Yeah. Um, so we did want to stay away from like sort of like misrepresenting DID or anything.
Uh,
So like it is a cool concept, especially if it's not like intended to be DID and like it's magically induced, I think. But what DID is dissociative identity disorder, by the way. But so he didn't want to like mimic DID at all. So
Mm.
they're literally one personality just made up of a bunch of different people. So they're one person like
Yeah.
all at the same time. There's no like dissociation or anything. It's just like one person with this chaotic ever like yeah, it's I love them. They haven't really gotten a chance to be featured so far because the first two episodes were DM'd by the guy, but I'm so excited for the episode I'm DMing because Ann Derek's really gonna get a chance to shine.
So in our Cypher System game, one of the characters was playing this like aquatic like mariner style hero that had like gear with these like gemstones in it, and what they find out later
Ooh.
is like it's made from this crystalline energy civilization who kind of crashed on Earth, and on Earth like they can't form their bodies, while Nazis were harvesting them to make them into technology. And so like they freed a bunch of them from like this like almost like a Faraday cage that was being powered by them, and he ended up taking them all into his gear. So he had like
Ooh.
this like colony or planet's worth of
Right.
all these different people in them. And occasionally, until they kind of figured things out, he would have to his psyche would become under attack, and they would like almost
Yeah.
like a hive mind take over his body. And when they did, they would form this like giant
Cool.
energy being around them, and not
Cool.
necessarily their goals weren't necessarily aligned with what his goals were
Oh shoot.
until they worked things out. So
It almost reminds me of like the Avatar state, because like the Avatar
yeah,
state is like all of the past lives of Aang,
yeah.
of the Avatar like coming together. So yeah.
So the how that came about though was they were trying to free them, and they got like a bunch of bad rolls. So instead of me going, "Oh, it just didn't work," I was like, "Okay, it kind of works, just not the way you wanted it to."
Oh no.
And it was like, "Oh, now we can play with this in the future and have fun with it." And then they
Oh
still have the
no.
opportunity to try and like fix it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome though.
so
That's
I
so
just wanted
cool.
to, but it all came about because I wanted to use skeleton, atomic skeleton surf Nazis, and like, and they were launched out of like a submarine, so like they had to go like track back to the submarine and figure out what was going on and find them. So so the
Cool.
game I was running was like it was like a post-apocalyptic mashup of like things from the 80s and 70s, like
Cool.
Thundar the Barbarian and Flash Gordon, and like very
Yeah.
like also very kind of like campy as well.
Yeah.
And then like they're trying to like carve out a niche in what's left of the world.
Yeah.
So it was like lots of room for like sci-fi tech and fantasy stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
That's so cool.
it was a lot of fun. Like we had like his character
Yeah.
was like a very like He-Man-esque style character, She-Ra style character.
Ooh.
Then we had a spider monkey, a blue spider monkey, and
Hang on tight,
a
Spider-Man.
little Red Riding Hood character in a gas mask,
Of
and
course. As
and then
you
an
should.
astronaut character that was literally just
Of course.
the astronaut
As you do.
spacesuit from like the 70s.
As you do. As you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love
What
that.
other games are you into?
Other games that I'm into,
Or is it all D
like
and D? I thought I saw you on like Better
I
Talk.
I am. I haven't. Well, I've played a couple non D&D games. Like there's this Powered by the Apocalypse game that I've played before. I am. I really want to run or play Kids on Brooms. Um, so much. I haven't gotten the chance to. There's this system. It's like I don't know if you've seen Epitheta Race, but it's like called the anime campaign system. It's a lot of work for the GM. It's not the best system, but I've played that
Animon
before.
story.
No, I don't think so.
It's not the
I
one
don't
that's
know.
like it's kind of like Pokemon and
No.
no.
No, it's just you get like a word. So like you get a random word generator and then your GM helps you choose powers based on those words. And
What
then
is
as you fail, you power up, I think.
what is the game
Or
called?
yeah. I think it's called the anime campaign or something like that, but there's a show on YouTube called Epithet Erased that's based around the game that the people that play like made it played.
Uh,
Um, it's really funny, and so I played a short campaign in that system before.
it took me forever to figure out what beggar talk was. It wasn't until I had another TikToker on that they had to explain it to me. Because TikTok's weird, right? Like
Mootly,
people will use all kinds of hashtags that have nothing to do with what they're
right?
talking about. So
I never do that.
like yeah, I don't think it happens in the D&D community
It does.
so
It
much.
does. I've seen people with like those popular hashtags, and I'm like, why are you hashtagging like some big brand? And then I'm like,
Or a
oh,
show or
it's
something.
right. Like, and it's because they're popular. But the thing
Yeah.
is, I personally don't do that because I don't want random people to watch my video. And then, because like I know that D&D is very niche. So if I try to get my videos on anyone's For You page, everyone's For You page, and not just specifically D&D or like TTRPG TikTok, I'm not going to have as good engagement versus views. I'm not going to have as good, like, people aren't going to watch it as long because they're not interested in it. So I try to keep like all of my stuff where I'm like in the niche that I am because I know that like and my engagement is better than a lot of people that have like more followers than me and it's just like it's probably why.
Targeting makes sense. Brian wants to know if you have any
Yeah.
Halloween games planned,
Well, I don't have any specific Halloween games
but
planned,
you are
but
running
I
Curse
don't
of
know if you
Strahd.
know this. I am running Curse of Strahd. And it's going to be Halloween all year round, but
Yeah.
specifically, it's going to be Halloween in October as well. So that's going to be fun.
I had 2 characters die in that campaign.
Yeah, I've got some plans for that that I stole from some people, but like if one of them dies, like once, might be okay.
Yeah. Well, the second one came back as with the
Yeah.
Dark Pact, but
Yeah,
the yeah,
that.
so it's kind of easy, especially after Van
Yeah.
Richten's guide. The first one, the GM would have brought the character back, but I was like, nah, that character's story is good. Also, too, like he was a cleric of Maglubiet and a
Nice.
human, that was raised
Nice.
by goblins. So like it was
Nice.
just fun. So I would just make up weird goblin facts to interject in
Oh my
in the
god,
campaign.
I love okay, my favorite thing ever when I'm watching people play,
Yeah.
especially because like I haven't seen it done as much in my own games, even though I love trying to do it. But is that like very improv thing where like uh someone will just be like, yeah, you're from blank, or like someone will be like, I think I specifically remember I can't remember the have you know have you seen Drawfee?
What is it?
Drawfee, they used to be affiliated with College Humor. They're no longer affiliated with College Humor because of the financial thing that happened a
No, I
year
don't
or
know if
two
I am
ago.
familiar with them.
So they are a bunch of artists that are just funny. I like them, and they had like this D&D, but this like fake D&D thing where they would like draw instead to like continue the story. Um, and Draw Detectives, that's what the show's called. And the wild facts that the orc character would make up about orc culture, just like based on what's going on in the because they're like solving a murder. That's the
Yeah,
point
yeah,
of the thing. He would just like make up wild facts. Like I think that one of them was literally like uh trains are scary. Like if you can't fight a train, and like they're talking about trains as if they're like these like actual beasts and not like human constructed. So like anytime someone brought up a train, he'd be like, "No, you haven't fought a train before. They're scary." It was just it was something like that. I love that. I love like the building of like this like past this like culture
yeah.
by the player. You know what I mean? And just like people jumping off of that saying like yes and also, it's so fun.
I definitely enjoy that stuff, and also I feel like certain like D&D races let you to have a little bit more fun with it and just be more ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like kobolds and
yeah,
goblins, like anything could be true.
yeah. Anything can be true. Anything. I
What?
think
You've
you
got
can
three brothers? I've got 300. And
and
we
you
all
can just
sleep in a
make shit
pile. That's
up
goblins sleep in
and then it
piles like
becomes true.
kittens.
If you're the only person of a certain race or culture in your game, you can just
Yeah.
make up anything. I'm the only human. Maybe I'll start making up facts about you.
But there you go. You need
Nah,
to,
I
although you need to
that's a
do what
more
I didn't
serious
do and keep notes so you
character.
can be consistent.
Right, right. That's an important thing. That's important. That's really important.
No, I also as a GM I like it when players like kind of world
Me
build like
too.
that. I
We
have
have
no
formats.
problem putting that in the game.
Yeah. I love I wish I had a note taker. We don't have one.
Some of our games do and some of them don't. They're gold. They're pure gold when you get them. Especially the one in the one game that Ted runs. Our one player keeps meticulous notes and then puts them in the Google Doc for everyone.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
amazing. So we actually stream, like because we stream, we can always go back and watch stuff. I
yeah.
don't, but I need to. But then the other one, it's just like a casual game, so it doesn't need to be perfect, you know.
Yeah. How long are your games generally?
Uh, they've been going around like 3 hours, which I think has been really nice. My Sunday campaign went from like 7 to 10, so that was yeah, 3 hours. No, 6 to 10, 4 hours. So yeah, but 3 to 4 hours is a good to me time.
Is it the same for the stream games?
Yeah, the stream games are like 3 hours, because they're 9 to 12, and then on Tuesdays it's 9 to 12, and Eastern Standard Time, and on Thursdays it's 7 to 10.
Yeah, we try to be like we try to do our stream games like around 2 hours.
It it's nice. Um, our goal is like 2 hours and 30 minutes to 3 hours
Yeah.
for the ones on Thursdays, and our goals for the ones on Tuesdays is pretty much exactly 3 hours.
How many players in each game?
uh, so we've got 5 players slash DMs. We're all DMs in the Thursday campaign, and we've got one, two, three, I think it's six, including the DM in the, I could be wrong. One,
Yeah.
two, three, four. Wait. Okay, we've got Eitri, we've got Juniper, we've got Ricky's character Forden, we've got CS4, and we've got Clemency. Yeah, 6 people in
So,
the,
are
including
your
the
stream
DM.
games or are they all with other TikTokers?
Uh, sort of. The
Sort of.
ones on Thursdays are with like pretty decently like D&D TikToker people. The one on Tuesdays, like most all of us have a TikTok, but not all of us are very consistently on TikTok.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's also just a good excuse to get together and do stuff. I knew people that
Right?
started
It's so
stream
fun.
games just because it was the only way to get a consistent game going. Like their group
Oh,
felt
damn. You
their group
feel
felt
obligated.
yeah, their group felt obligated to show up, so they had to start a stream to make that happen.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we are
Oh,
right
it's
at the
one.
hour mark. Final
Yeah.
thoughts before we head out?
Uh, I mean, you got any final questions? I don't have any. Follow me. Follow me on TikTok. I'm super cool. I've got a Patreon now. I need to put stuff on my Patreon stuff. I put a video on. I don't think anyone saw it. But
Help
yeah.
Phoebe get more dice.
Yeah, send me dice. Go on my Discord. That's all.
Well, thanks for
Follow
coming
me.
on.
Like all my videos.
Go check it out. Links
It was
are in the description. Thanks for coming on. And until next time, everyone, stay nerdy.
bye.